keyword research is all about knowing the actual search terms that people are entering into search engines. Researching these keywords and phrases will help you achieve better rankings in search engines for the terms that people are actually interested in. Now, knowing which keywords and phrases you want to spend your energy on is a complex subject. So in this video, we'll look at a couple of different ways to do some keyword research. Then in the next video, we'll take the keywords that we decide upon and start implementing those into our RapidWeaver project. So one of the simplest and easiest ways to do some basic keyword research is just to start doing some searching inside of Google and see what Google suggests for you to search for. So to show you an example of this, we could start typing in best coffee, and you'll see the drop down here will give you a list of suggested examples from Google. So these are popular search phrases around best coffee. So best coffee machine, best coffee in London, and best coffee beans. Now obviously we wanted to focus on best coffee in Brighton, so let's start entering that. And you'll see obviously we get suggested results for Brighton, Bristol, Brixton and Brussels. We're interested in Brighton, so we'll have a look at that. Obviously you'll get the standard Google search results page, but if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see search results or searches related to best coffee in Brighton. So these are similar phrases or keywords that people have searched for inside of Google when they've also searched for best coffee in Brighton, or there's search terms that Google thinks that you'll also be interested in. So for example, best coffee shops in Brighton and cafes in the Brighton lanes, Brighton cafes and restaurants, etc. So this is a really simple and easy way to get an idea of what people are searching for, and Google will give you some suggested search terms, and those are most likely to be the most popular search terms on Google. And obviously those are the types of terms and keywords that you want to be focusing on. So as I say, enter some search terms into Google, have a look at what Google suggests that you search for, and also have a look at the related searches at the bottom, as that will give you a good idea of what is popular to search for on Google. Obviously the drawbacks of this is that we don't know the volume of searches, and it's hard to track how popular these are over time, how difficult it might be to get to page 1 on Google for these search terms, stuff like that. So I want to show you a paid for tool which is called Keyword Explorer from Mozilla. As I say, it is a paid for tool, however you can get a 30-day free trial, which I think will be more than enough for your needs. So you just sign up. So you can just sign up for 1 month. As long as you cancel within the first 30 days, you won't be charged anything for this service. So definitely worthwhile. Go and sign up and give it a go. So rather than trying to explain how this actually works, let's just start doing some keyword exploring. So enter a phrase here. I'm going to put in best coffee in Brighton. And what that will do is do an analysis on that phrase and give us some data around how many searches are being made, the difficulty that it might be to come up on page 1, how much opportunity there is around that phrase, and the overall potential. So as you can see here, there's actually no data around the volume. Now that is going to be because quite simply there isn't that many people searching for best coffee in Brighton. So we might want to rethink our keyword phrase there, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And next there is the difficulty. Obviously, how difficult is this going to be to get up on the first page of the search results? Then we have the opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity here. There's not many other sites that seem to be targeting best coffee in Brighton, so opportunity might be good. However, the potential is fairly low. So as I say, this might not be the best search phrase or the keywords to focus on for us, because obviously we want to be targeting keywords and phrases that people are actually searching for. So what this tool gives you is keyword suggestions, and if we go and have a look at those, we can see the relevancy to the search term that we've put in and the volume of searches that are being made. So as you can see, best coffee shops in Brighton's got 11 to 50 searches, so that we might want to reconsider, rather than saying best coffee in Brighton, maybe we need to add coffee shops in Brighton, stuff like that. Then there's best cafe in Brighton, that's 50 to 100 searches, so again a little bit more popular. Maybe we want to use best cafe rather than best coffee. And this one's pretty popular, coffee shops in Brighton, obviously the volume 200 to 500. Perhaps this is the keyword phrase that we want to be focusing on rather than best coffee in Brighton. Let's have a look at using coffee shops in Brighton, because the search volume is a lot higher. So if we actually go and have a look and see what the Keyword Explorer thinks about this keyword phrase, we can see if we might want to focus on that rather than the one that we've chosen previously. So paste this in, have a look at coffee shops Brighton on the overview. Here we can see the volume, obviously 200 to 500 searches. The difficulty isn't too high, opportunity is good, and the potential is a lot higher. So I would definitely say that Coffee Shops Brighton is going to be a better keyword phrase for our fictional cafe to focus on. And again, we could have a look at the keyword suggestions here, so what other people are actually searching for around coffee shops in Brighton. Small batch coffee, that's a popular coffee shop. People are searching for Hove coffee shops, Brighton cool cafes. This is going to give you a lot of ideas about the types of keywords and phrases that you could target that you might not have thought about before. And because there's so much data behind this, it's going to be a lot more powerful than you trying to guess what people are searching for in Google. So before we have a look at perhaps one other phrase that we might want to target, I just want to show you the search engine results page analysis. This will show you the search engine results page and give you a little bit of analysis on each result. So as you can see, the first page is coffee shops in Brighton on the welovebrighton.com website. So obviously that's ranking high because our search term is coffee shops Brighton. They have that as the beginning of their title tag on their page, so coffee shops in Brighton. Their URL is nice and clear. They have Brighton, which is a keyword that we're searching for in their domain name. They also have independent coffee shops in Brighton. So here you can see the actual keyword phrase is in the URL. So these are all things to think about. We're getting keywords in the domain names, in the page title, in the URLs, and more than likely that phrase is inside of the page. We can actually go and have a look at that and see what the site looks like. So here you can see we obviously have 6 of the best independent and coffee shops in Brighton, and that's what we've searched for, and that's right at the top of the page. So just to reiterate this from the previous lessons, they've done this site really well. The keywords are not only in the URL, they're in the page title, they're at the top of the page content inside a heading tag, and more than likely it's sprinkled throughout the page content as well. There's links off to coffee shops in Brighton, so this page is really going to be authoritative because they are talking about the right subject and they're using the keywords that we've searched for in the right places. So this is the type of result that we want to get from our website. However, let's go back to the keyword planner and perhaps just do a little bit of planning around one more phrase before we move on to the next video and look at implementing these. So I'm thinking that our website might start to offer some barista training or something like that. So it might be good to know what people are searching for around coffee training and barista training. So let's just have a search for, I don't know, coffee training in Brighton. And here we can see there's no volume, or there's no data for the volume, so not many people are searching for that. And if we go to the overview, we might get some keyword suggestions as we did before. We can see those suggestions, have a look at the volume that is being searched for. Here you can see Starbucks barista training is being searched for a lot. Now that's probably not something that you want to target, obviously, because people are being very specific there. They want to know about Starbucks barista training. We're not going to be able to compete with Starbucks, and people probably don't want to come to our small independent coffee shop because they are interested in Starbucks only. So we can kind of discount this keyword suggestion. However, barista training courses, that seems to be searched for. Barista training online, free, that's also being searched for. So hopefully you get the idea here of how you could research and plan a little bit better the keywords and phrases that you want to be focusing on. And as I say, the most popular one seems to be here, or one of the most popular seems to be barista training courses. So let's actually pop that into the keyword planner and see what sort of results we get back. So again, 50 to 100 searches, difficulty not too bad, opportunity pretty good, and potential, again, that's pretty good. So these might be some keywords or a phrase that you want to target on your website. as I say, you could go in, you can have a look at the search engine results page analysis, see who's ranking highest for these keywords. And one tip, as we've already done, is go and have a look at the websites that are ranking highly for these phrases that you're interested in, and try and go through their page, go through their page titles, the URLs, the page structure, everything we've already learnt here. And I think what you'll notice is that they've implemented a lot of the ideas that we've already talked about. They'll be using the keywords that we have in the phrase inside the, as I say, the URLs, the browser title, the page titles throughout the content. They'll be having some good outbound links to relevant, interesting content across the web. And most likely, other websites will also be linking to them. And that's a subject that we're going to touch on later on in this series called link building. So that just about does it for some basic keyword researching. Have a play around with this keyword planning tool on Moz, and I think you'll get a lot of value out of it, especially as you get the first 30 days for free. It doesn't cost you anything. However, in the next video, let's start looking at implementing some of these keywords that we've researched here into our RapidWeaver website.